So hi and welcome to today's video. So today is another video in my current favourite series. So I've been making quite a few of these recently, talking about current favourite products in different areas of detailing, and today of course is on protection products. So I'm going to be talking about wax, sealant, spray and rinse, QD, and also glass protection favourite as well in there. So some of these products have been sent to me in the past by different brands, and in fact most of them have. I'll of course list them in the description in case I forget to mention them in this video. But of course, as always, I'm going to be providing my honest opinions about the products, and I didn't want to not include them because they are my favourite, so it wouldn't have made sense to limit my selection because I think I'd be depriving people of my best recommendations. So I'm going to jump in and start with the first one, and that is a sealant. So we've got here, and this probably isn't going to come as a massive surprise if you've been around for a decent amount of time, but this is the Garage Therapy 3 ceramic sealant. Now this I've chosen as my sort of all-round kind of paint protection option. Of course it is a sprayable sealant, that's how you use it, you spray it onto a dry panel. So in terms of the application and the prep process, this product ideally needs to be applied to something that has been properly prepared. So if you have clayed and polished it, then fantastic. You don't need to in order to get a really good level of durability out of this product. I find that with one layer on a car that's just been prepped with decon shampoo, not clayed or polished or anything else, 4 months is about typical from what I've experienced. However, of course, you can apply 2 layers of this product to get the maximum durability out of it. And of course, cleaning and polishing is going to be useful if you really do want to maximise the lifespan of this. So the first time that I applied this, I didn't properly remove the sealant that I had underneath, and the product slipped off very quickly. Now that was obviously my fault. Having used this product since, I haven't experienced those issues. But just something to keep in mind when you do use this, it is a sealant, so ideally the better the prep, the better you'll get out of it. But the reason I've chosen it is because, like I said, it is a good all-rounder. In terms of the water behaviour, it's never completely blown me away, but what it does is stay consistent throughout its lifespan. So it's not a product that has amazing reactive water behaviour when you initially apply it and dies very quickly. This has just very solid water behaviour throughout its lifespan. So I think that that's something to keep in mind. That's really better for most circumstances in my opinion. However, another thing that I do really like about it is the slickness. Now, this is a product where I apply it to the car, and as well as having, good water behaviour, it helps to keep the car clean, and that's not always something you get with products that have good water behaviour. The best example I can think of this is Fuso Coat, a product that is amazingly reactive with water. It's fantastic beading and sheeting. However, my car always just seems to get a little bit dirtier faster when I use it. This doesn't do that. Another thing to note is that they also do a product called Sigma, which I've got hiding behind here. If you want something that's a little bit more heavy duty than just sort of a QD, it's a little bit in between a sealant and a QD in my opinion. But these two work really well as a pair. If you want to top up the ceramic sealant, you can use Sigma and you get essentially the same properties but just in a quicker application. And yeah, they both just work fantastically together. The finish as well that these products leave is just fantastic. I think I was always led to believe really that if you want durability, go for a sealant, and if you want a nice finish, go for a wax. And I think that these products prove that that's a pretty old school way of thinking, and really you can get the best of both worlds here. So yeah, that's the reason I picked it as my sort of all-round paint protection product. So the next product that I wanted to talk about is a paste wax. Now, of course, I wanted to choose a paste wax for this video, as a lot of people prefer this application method. Now, this was probably the hardest one to choose because I've got quite a few different paste waxes, to be honest now, and they all kind of excel in different areas. So some have really, really good water behaviour but aren't quite as enjoyable to apply. Some are really, really enjoyable to apply but the water behaviour isn't as good, or the durability. And so it was hard to choose something that really kind of sort of encompassed everything that I wanted in a wax. In the end, I decided to go for Squidding Aquaphobe. Now, I don't think that durability wise this wax is outstanding. 2 to 3 months I think is typical. Slightly less if you're using alkaline chemicals. I'm in fact doing a test at the moment where I'm comparing this and quite a few other waxes on the boot lid of my car. It didn't do as well on that test as I was expecting, to be honest. On my car I've been using it throughout summer, and I've been getting around 6 weeks of very good water behaviour before it tails off quite quickly. So you might be wondering why I've chosen this when it isn't that durable from my experience. And the reason for it is because for me, this puts the fun back in waxing, and that's the best way I can describe it. It has an amazing scent, which I know isn't important to some people, but I think it's great. This one's a candy floss scent, which is pretty unique. And we do actually have another scent. I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head. I want to say something vanilla, but go and check the website. I'll of course link it. They might not do this one, or they might do this scent now. I'm not entirely sure. However, it's not the scent that makes this product really good to use. It's what I've started by saying, but it's not the best thing about it. The best thing about it is the application process, and both in terms of spreading the product and removing it, this is such an enjoyable product to use. It's, for me, something I go to a lot in summer. And you can probably tell I've used quite a bit of this now, and you don't need a lot of it, so I have used it quite often. I've never had any problems whatsoever with this, and even when it's been reasonably warm, I actually left this on for half an hour to cure when it only needs normally around 10 minutes. I left it on for half an hour just to see whether it was causing me problems, and it caused me no problems whatsoever. So it just buffed off with one swipe. So for me, this is a summer wax, because the durability isn't something that I think I can get away with in winter. But when, say, I know it's going to be a really nice week, say sunny, and I want to spend more time on my car, I've got a free afternoon, this is what I go to apply because it's just really fun to use. So next up is kind of the opposite end of the spectrum in a way, and rather than spending a long time waxing your car and really taking your time with the process, if you're looking for something very quick, you're probably looking for a spray and rinse sealant, which is going to provide good durability, but be really, really simple and fast to apply. So I've decided to go for this one here, and that is Bouncer's Bead Juice. So I've tried a few spray and rinse sealants, and this is the one that I've settled on being my favourite really. And I'll probably do a comparison at some point between this and maybe a few of the others to see as scientifically as possible whether this is significantly better, but from my experience, this is my favourite to use. It's very reactive on application, so I found it to be slightly more reactive than Gian Wet Coat that I've got somewhere here. But durability wise as well, I think that it does really well. 2 to 3 months I think is about what you get for this, but I use this on my alloys quite a lot, and I applied this 4 months ago when I deconned them, and it's still going strong. So I think that that's really, really good, particularly for alloys, to be getting that kind of level of performance. What's unique about this spray and rinse sealant as well, which might appeal to some people, is that you can actually apply it to a dry surface. Now, I've not actually tried applying it to a dry panel before, but I think that the option to do that adds something that a lot of spray and rinse sealants on the market don't really offer. So that is one of the reasons why I've chosen it. Water behaviour, again, very good. Yeah, you're probably going to get slightly better water behaviour from some waxes, but this is solid product to use, and yeah, no complaints from using it. I think it's a really, really good one to look for if you are into spray and rinse sealants, particularly as we're heading into winter. I think that these products are really worth having in your collection. So next up, I wanted to talk about my quick detailer of choice, and again, this was really, really hard to choose because out of all the products that I own, quick detailers are probably ones that I own the most of, and the hard products to describe because the lines between quick detailers and spray sealants have become so blurred, and what's a quick detailer to one might not be to another. I've picked what I like in a quick detailer, and for me, I don't tend to use them particularly for cleaning. Yeah, I'll use them to tidy up the odd water spot or fingerprint after washing, but I won't use them in between washing. So the one that I've gone for is the Pyramid Car Care Quick Detailer Pro. And this again is sort of an all-rounder kind of product. The application and the reason I think it's more of a quick detailer than a spray sealant is because you don't have to buff this back or let it cure. So you can spray it on and just work it in. Just flip your towel, to sort of buff it away a bit, but you don't have to apply it and wait. You can just sort of slap it on, and it's a fuss-free product. It doesn't streak, which is obviously exactly what I want. The scent of it is really, really nice as well, and I know that that's not important to some people again, but I think it does add to the overall process, particularly at the end of the wash process when you're just using something to tidy up the finish. I always appreciate it when they smell pretty good. The water behaviour is solid on this one, and the durability as well. Its maximum claim is 6 weeks. Now, I found really when I'm applying it over the top of something else, I never really apply it to a bare panel. When I apply it on top of something else on my car, I'm normally getting around 2 to 3 weeks of really good water behaviour, and then maybe on the 4th wash, I wash my car weekly, but on the 4th wash, I'm like, yeah, I probably could do with putting some more on or something else on at this point. So 6 weeks potentially, but for me, the best performance is 2 to 3. So finally, I wanted to talk about glass protection, and we've got another Pyramid Car Care product here, and this is their glass coating. Now this is the pre-release bottle because they sent me this quite a while ago when it was, just before it got officially released. So that's why it's not got the fancy packaging. They do have the sort of properly packaged version available on the website. I've had this on my car since January on my windscreen, and I'll show you obviously the clips as I'll pop them over the top of me talking, but the performance is so strong still, and it's just not showing any signs of going anywhere. Now, will I make it through the whole of winter with this? Do you know what? I think I might stand a good chance, and I'll probably provide an update on that at some point. I'm not planning on removing it or applying anything else over the top. There's just no need to. The water behaviour of this is very, very good. When I'm driving on the motorway, you don't need the wipers at all. The water just beads off, and I'd say anything above sort of 50 miles an hour, you don't need the wipers, and then below that, you need the wipers less. That's probably the reason why it's lasted so long, is because I'm not hammering the windshield with my wipers all the time. Of course, if you're doing that, you probably are going to grind it away a bit more. I've backed off using my wipers quite a bit because of this product, so again, helps it to last longer. But something as well that I think is really good about this is other products that I've used in the past, more sort of sealant types, still let those kind of water marks and spots creep in, and you can see them, particularly if you're driving in the dark and it's raining and you can see the street lights. You can probably notice them the most then. With this, I've not had this since I've applied it, so yeah, I really can't fault this at all. The performance of it dipped slightly a few months ago, so what I actually did was it was only very, very slightly, but I was applying something to my car anyway and used Decon shampoo to prep it, and I thought, do you know what, I'm just going to have a go with the Decon shampoo and see what it does to it. Will it strip it? I don't know, but it didn't. It did the opposite actually. It really refreshed it, and that's one of the properties of the Decon shampoo, is it sort of unclogs ceramic coatings, and I guess it did the same thing here for this glass coating. So if you notice the performance dipping, then try that. The application of this as well is it's almost too easy that you think you've done it wrong. So they send an applicator with it, which I think is really, really useful. You apply it in a crosshatch pattern, sort of drip it onto the pad, apply it in a crosshatch pattern, and then wait 15 seconds, level it very quickly, but to be honest, it's arguable whether you actually even need to do that, because then you buff it off immediately and there's no issues whatsoever. It's too easy in a way. It really is weird. You sort of think it's not going to work because it is that easy, but I buffed it off, and do you know what? I've never really used a product that was that easy, to be honest, particularly one that's lasting this long. So yeah, I would really, really recommend this if you're looking, particularly going into winter, for something more durable on your glass, and you're using sealants at the moment and not quite happy with the performance, then have a look at this because it is really, really good. So as I said, I will be linking in the description all the other videos in this Current's Favourite series. If you have enjoyed this one, it'd be brilliant if you could give it a like. Comment down below if you've got any questions about the products that I've talked about today, and subscribe for weekly detailing videos if you're not already. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.